the reason we were arrested was that a young fellow, Herschel Greenspan was his name, went to the embassy in Paris and shot an official of the embassy.
Yeah.
His name was Van Rath, R-A-T-H. And since I told him, Herschel Greenspan, to kill this fellow, he wanted to take revenge because his parents were driven out of Poland and were killed. So he wanted to take revenge. So they blamed the German Jews for telling Herschel Greenspan to kill this guy. And they arrested us. This was the reason that we were arrested, besides being Jews. That was on a Friday morning, November the 10th, 1938. And the stormtroopers came to the house and said, all the men in one room. And then they asked who else here. They got our birthday, name, and so on and so forth. And then they marched us off to the police station. And we must have been waiting at the police station for at least 3, 4, maybe more hours. Then we were taken in trucks to the railroad station, loaded in passenger trains, and then by train we were transported from Frankfurt to Weimar. And in Weimar we were unloaded, and we were in an underpass at the railroad station where all the prisoners, we were stopped before we were led to the trucks, to the trucks where they transported us. And there where the Nazis went back of us and hit with their rifles whoever they could hit. So that is where one of the Nazis tapped me on the shoulders and told me, take your glasses off. Your glasses you can replace, but an eye you cannot replace. And I thought that was a miracle that a Nazi should have this feeling, and I appreciate it. Then whatever we had, our watches, what money, the Nazis took away from us. They didn't let us keep us. We were completely stripped. But then later on we could get money and we could buy food. And they sold us little cans of tuna fish. And I ate every day tuna fish. That's why I cannot look at tuna fish anymore.
Yeah.
Tuna fish, forget it. I run away from it. But we ate it. We had no choice. We had no alternative. We had to eat something. Once a week we got a loaf of bread, and that had to last us for a week. The primitive barracks where we were on one side. Those who were already there for a number of years were on the right side. Some of those were built and constructed so primitively that they broke down, and many people who were lying on the lower shelves got so squashed.
Yeah.
What did we do with them? We threw them out.
Yeah.
And the Nazis took them away.
No.
And then they came back with big pots of food and dished them out, and we had to buy dishes. I do not remember what we had to pay, but we had to pay a lot of money for it, for a spoon and a aluminum dish. And you know, my father-in-law, Grandma's father, was there too. And we ate, and there was ham or whatever, or fat, chazar fat. in the soup, so I threw it out. So he asked me, why do you throw it away?
Yeah.
I said, I cannot eat it. I didn't want him that it is chazir.
To know that, yeah.
So he said, that's soft-boiled potatoes. So I said, you want soft-boiled potatoes? So I gave him, and he ate it.
Yeah.
And he enjoyed it. So that was, my father died in the same year in 1938, and I said Kaddish every day. We didn't have minyan or anything. We just got together, we were standing there, and we had one fellow smuggled a sefer into the camp, and somebody learned every day a couple of Mishnayot so that I could say Kaddish. I told you about the third day when we were there, when they treated us royally, gave us as much to eat as we wanted and never helping. And then we found out later on why we were treated like that, because the foreign press was invited to observe how the Nazis are treating their Jewish prisoners. I mean, everything was propaganda, and everything was built on to create an image in the world that they are human beings, which they were not. Grandma heard that a fellow at the Dominican Republic in Frankfurt gave out papers. He wanted to make some money and handed out the papers. And he took home in the evening the official seal and stationery and filled out if Mr. XYZ appears at the consulate, he will get an immigration visa to the Dominican Republic. She heard of it and she must have paid some money for it. And on the basis of this paper, I was released from Buchenwald. But the same day that I was released from Buchenwald, the German secret police heard that this was fake. And I was one of the last ones to get out of Buchenwald. It was on a Saturday. When I came home late in the evening to Frankfurt and rang the doorbell at Heller's, Selma, Grandma's sister, opened the door. She didn't recognize me. She slammed the door in my face. She was afraid I'm some kind of a robber or something. I finally got papers to go to England and to America, which was in 1940.
But that was after concentration camp.
After concentration, 1938, not 1940. 1938, I got papers to go to England, where I stayed a little bit over 2 years. And from there, I got to America. In the meantime, my mother was shipped to a concentration camp in Czechoslovakia. And from there, I do not know what happened to her, but most likely she ended up like most of the people in the gas chambers. Concentration camp, that was on a Saturday, and the two uncles were there too, and they were released the same day as I was released. And they said that the Shabbos will wait at the railroad station till after Shabbos. I said, you wait here, I take the first train that is going. And I want to get away from this area as fast as I can. So I finally convinced them that they went with me.
Which uncle?
Uncle Chaim and Uncle Beryl. In 1940, I came to America and rose. I think I said before, when we got married in Germany in early 1940, or was it 39?
Had to be 39. And what about Mom? Did you talk and confide in Rose?
Yes. We talked about things. We had no secrets from each other. We had no secrets from each other. We talked about things, we discussed things, and try to make the best of it.
Georgia zu uns gekommen ist, der nach hebräischem Kalender gestern 98 Jahre alt geworden ist und nach dem anderen Kalender in den nächsten Tagen.
That's enough for tonight.